People don't realize just how crowded at the top it is in the Big 12. Besides Baylor, we know they're undefeated and they're having COVID issues. But two big games on Saturday, and all four of those teams involved are 6-4 in their last 10 games. This is a big Saturday for the Big 12. I call it Separation Saturday. Let's go. What's happening, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I'm just here to get you through your work week. I do videos every single day, sometimes college football and sometimes college basketball. The best way to support this channel, get more of my content, is hit that subscribe button. Yeah, it's a big log jam at the top of the Big 12, not counting Baylor. And Oklahoma has a little bit of control at the top, but it's still close with them as well. Two big games on Saturday that will help determine who's going to go where and who will be hot going into the postseason, going into conference tournaments if they happen, and the big dance. So very, very important stretch coming up. The first big game in the Big 12 in college basketball on Saturday is number 15 Texas Tech at number 23 Kansas. Texas Tech is 14-6 and 6th in the Big 12 because of some tiebreakers. Kansas is 16-7, second in the Big 12. They're starting to get hot. Texas Tech scores 74.3 points per game, but allows just 62.7 points per game. They're a very good defensive team. Kansas scores 74 points per game and allows 66.2 points per game. Decent defense, but not as good as Texas Tech. Chris Beard preaches defense. Yes, Texas Tech 6-4 in their last 10 games. Two of those losses were to West Virginia, but they also lost to Oklahoma State and Baylor, but everybody loses to Baylor. Kansas also 6-4 in their last 10 games. They lost to Baylor, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and West Virginia, but they are on a 4-game winning streak. Texas Tech shoots the ball 43.6% from the field and 34% from three-point. That's not bad. Kansas shoots the ball 44.1% from the field, good, and 35% from three-point. So a little bit better in both categories. So who do we need to be watching in this game? Well, for Texas Tech, it's pretty simple. The first guy, McClung, he averages 17 points per game, shoots the ball 43% from the field and 34% from three-point. But there's two other guys you need to keep an eye on. Shannon, another guard, 13 points per game, 45% from the field and 30% from three-point land. And the third guard you need to keep an eye on, McCullough, he averages 10.5 points per game. Shoots the ball 41.5% from the field and 30% from three-point. The thing for Texas Tech is they have a deep bench. Not spectacular, but deep and productive. So what do we need to keep our eyes on for Kansas? They have a strong core for their starters. Agbaji, he's a great player. 13.7 points per game and 42% from the field. McCormick, their forward, 12.8 points per game. 80% from the field. He scores from down low very effectively. Wilson averages 12.7 points per game, shoots the ball 64.5% from the field, but also shoots it 35.7% from three-point. So he's good at shooting the three, and he's a big guy. Another good guard, Braun, he averages 10.3 points per game and shoots the ball 37.2% from three-point. Very good three-point shooter. And then, of course, the last guard, Garrett. 10.3 points per game as well, 32.6% from three-point. Their bench is not as deep as Texas Tech, so if Texas Tech can wear that starting rotation out, they would have a chance once this game gets into the latter part of the second half. The problem is, Kansas is very hot right now, and it is at home. I personally think Kansas will win this basketball game, and they're going to get some steam and head into the tournament hot. Now, they don't have any chance of catching first place. I just don't see that happening with Baylor. But they can have a solid 2 seed in the tournament. So for this game, I have Kansas beating Texas Tech and staying hot. The other game features my team, West Virginia, number 13 in the nation, 14-6, and 4th in the Big 12 because of some tiebreakers. But they are tied with number 12, Texas, who's also 4th in the Big 12. They're 13-5. West Virginia averages 77.5 points per game. That's way up from what we're used to. Usually we're a defensive team, and we allow 71 points per game. That's a little strange for a West Virginia team under Bob Huggins. Now for Texas, they average 75.3 points per game and allow 67.6 points per game. So their defense is a little bit better than ours. Both teams 6-4 in the last 10 games. West Virginia 2 losses to Oklahoma, but also lost to Florida and Texas. So West Virginia is trying to avoid another sweep. For Texas, also 6-4 in their past 10 games. They lost to Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Baylor, and Oklahoma State. So what do we need to look for in this game? Well, for West Virginia, it's really their starting 5. McBride, he averages 16.2 points per game, shoots the ball 43.5% from the field, and 44.6% from 3-point. He's a good shooter. Culver, our guy down low, 15.1 points per game and shoots the ball 49.8% from the field. Sherman, I don't know if he's going to be available for this game. I'm hoping, because it would be a big boost. He averages 12.6 points per game, 43.1% from the field, and 39.2% from 3-point land. But in his absence, McNeil has been picking up the slack. 11.6 points per game, 39.7% from the field, and 38.8% from 3-point. He almost shoots it better from 3-point line. That's crazy. Now the guys that West Virginia needs to step up is Bridges, Matthews Jr., McCabe, and Osabwahine, because our bench is not very deep. So those guys need to have at least a decent game. Now for Texas, what we need to look out for them. First off, Andrew Jones, great guard. 15.9 points per game. Have to contain him. 42.9% from the field and 32.2% from 3-point. Another guard, Ramey, 13.2 points per game, 40.9% from the field, and 40.5% from 3-point land. And to complete this great guard rotation, you have Coleman. He averages 12.7 points per game, 46.5% from the field. That's really good. And 34.7% from 3-point land. Now the big guy you need to keep an eye on down low is Brown. 11.5 points per game, 43.3% from the field, and 36.8% from 3-point land. So yes, the big guy can shoot the 3. Texas has a decent bench. It's not super deep like Texas Tech, but it's decent. I think it's a little bit better than West Virginia's. So West Virginia definitely does need the bench to step up and contribute. And of course the starters do their thing. I think West Virginia has a chance to win this basketball game. Will they? Yeah, I'm going to say West Virginia steals this one on the road. I think they're still hungry from losing to Oklahoma in double overtime at home. And West Virginia has actually been playing really good on the road. So we'll see how this goes. I think West Virginia pulls it off, gets a road win, climbs a little bit higher in the Big 12 rankings. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.